Senator Coons, thank you for the time.
Thank you, Michael. Great to be on with you.
Now, you've been coming to the Halifax International Security Forum for years now, but you come to Halifax this year hearing from a lot of people from different countries, allies of the United States, expressing concern about the United States and its commitment to democracy right now. What's that like?
Well, I'll never forget being here in 2016 with Senator John McCain just after Trump was elected for the first time President of the United States. There was widespread alarm and concern that he might abandon NATO, that he might undermine the North Atlantic relationship. And we spent a very busy weekend reassuring all of our partners and allies. It is challenging at times to be here now, the second time that my nation has elected Trump president. And my general conversations have been about how deep and strong and important the relationships are between the United States and Canada, military to military, intelligence service to intelligence service, families and businesses. But I recognize that the chaotic decisions he's made around tariffs and the uneven relationship that he's led to between some of our core allies has made many question the reliability of the U.S. partnership. Part of why we have such a large and bipartisan delegation of 8 senators is all of us want to both thank and reassure our Canadian partners and allies.
Okay, you mentioned trade, and I do want to pick up on that point because it is, as you suggest, a major sticking point right now with this country at the very least, if not with many others. But there are Canadians on this side of the border wondering, where is the congressional pushback?
So to be specific, we have now twice passed legislation in the Senate, which requires Republicans to vote for it, invalidating the emergency on which Trump's IEEPA-based tariffs rely for statutory power. The House, however, has refused to take them up. So your question's a good one. Why are Republicans in the House and Senate not pushing back more forcefully, more effectively? I don't think there's a single Democrat who supports tariffs on Canada, particularly justified on some fictitious fentanyl crisis or threat to our national security. It is my hope that our Supreme Court will ultimately decide that the president does not have the power to put on and take off and put on and take off tariffs at whim, that our Constitution allocates that power to the Article 1 branch, Congress. But frankly, I think Trump is so enamored of misusing the tariff power to coerce concessions that he will find some other way to do it, or the majority may hand him the power to do it.
Looking towards the upcoming midterms, how impactful do you think that will be on this White House?
Well, in 2018, President Trump's party, the Republican Party, lost the majority in the House, in no small part because things he'd done in his first 2 years as president alarmed many Americans. It is my hope that we'll have free and fair elections and that the result will be my party will take the majority in either or both houses of Congress and then act as more of a check on executive overreach. Look, this is a long tradition in American politics. When either party overreaches in the next midterm elections, we lose control of 1 or 2 houses of Congress. That's happened to Democratic and Republican presidents. But this is a moment where I think we need to be particularly attentive to the need for balance and for moderation.
The late Senator John McCain, who,
yes,
before we came on camera, you credited for dragging you to your first
Halifax
International
International. He told me I had to
Forum.
come, he asked me, he pushed me, and I'm so glad I did. Coming to Halifax with John McCain was truly memorable, and I got to stay up late with him and hear lots of stories, and I got to sit in the room and listen to how he interacted with our partners and allies, and at that time he was chairman of the Armed Services Committee. So he commanded a particularly high level of respect, both for his service and sacrifice and for the role that he was playing in Congress at the time.
And was very clear in his communication that he believed that no matter how the United States may stray, the systems were in check in your country to keep the United States on the democratic path. Can you say that as confidently today?
No. So across a very wide range of avenues, we've seen more movement in the direction of weakening the guardrails of democracy. Our framers, roughly 250 years ago, next year, asserted that the separation of powers, for it to work, was going to require those who served in each branch to jealously guard the prerogatives of their branch. So instead of simply handing the nominations power to the president, it assumed that a majority in Congress, even if they were of the same party as the president, would push back and challenge and question and would not vote in unqualified, demonstrably unqualified members of a cabinet. They also assumed that they wouldn't confirm questionable judicial nominees. Most importantly, that we wouldn't give up our power of the purse. 800 years of pushing back against first English kings, then British monarchs, were rested in Parliament first, now in our system, Congress, wresting away the power of the purse. I'm an appropriator. We are on the verge of failing to appropriate again. We did what's called a continuing resolution this year. So all the work that we did to put together appropriations bills last year produced nothing. We have passed 3, but we have 8 more we have to do at least, and 2 more that I think we're not likely to. I'm the person responsible with Senator McConnell for our defense and intelligence appropriations. That's the majority of our spending. We've got a package ready to go if a few senators can drop their objections that would allow us to appropriate health, education, transportation, housing, defense, and reject Trump's budget cuts. One of the important things about what we could do in December when we come back after Thanksgiving is Republicans have shown themselves in our committee willing to reject Trump's budget cuts in all those areas. I think that would show a significant positive step. On the other hand, we've seen courts, parties, leaders, journalists not fully play their role in democracy, and I'm worried about the degree of public corruption, the weakening of confidence in our system, the loss of trust in each other, and the ways in which our guardrails are weakening.
Okay, but how do you turn that around? Because, you know, the United States, yes, is a democracy in and of itself, but other countries, other democracies look to it as well as an example,
yes,
as a bulwark. So how do you turn that around?
So first, my party needs to come up with and present to the American people a positive agenda. We can't just run on, oh, did you notice Trump did this? You know, he tore down the East Wing without any permission. He, insulted members of Congress and threatened to kill them. Running on Trump is bad is not enough. People have lost confidence in the Democratic Party that we are committed to and capable of delivering real economic opportunity, genuine security, both physical security and retirement or economic security, and that we're focused on justice, but after we've delivered opportunity and security for our people. So I'm doing a lot of talking around the country with Democratic leaders and candidates about how we need to come together around a deliverable, accessible, sensible agenda. That's part of the discipline of elections, as Canadians know as well as Americans, that if one party's out of power, you got to make your case. You've got to persuade people to hand you back the keys so that you can be a part of governing.
So what do you say then, to the people gathered here in Halifax, again, from various countries, allies of the United States? What do you tell the people here about the United States and how to move forward in this moment in time?
Don't count us out. Continue to invest in your own security, capabilities, independence. Weave more closely together the networks and systems that sustain democracy. And we'll be back.
Senator Chris Coons, thank you very much.
Thank you. Great to be with you, Michael.